So now we'll move to a recent announcement by Bosun Chichani, the Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy. So he announced something called a startup house, right? So this startup house is basically it's a former, it's a Nigerian property in San Francisco, but now he's saying um, there has been an approval to convert that Nigerian property in San Francisco and turn it into a startup house, right? So he's saying this startup house will facilitate investments in Nigerian startups because most of our investments come from the US, right? Specifically San Francisco. So we'll be looking at what exactly does this mean and how exactly does it facilitate investment in Nigerian startups. So, Chingozi, let's start. What do you make of this?
What do I make of it?
Do you think it will facilitate or attract investments like the minister is saying it will?
Will it? I don't know. Can it? Yes. So there are two different things.
Mm, mm.
Um, the reason I say it is okay. First of all, um, digital innovation exchange, digital innovation
Yeah,
exchange program hub.
digital technology
Okay,
exchange
digital
program
technology exchange program
hub.
hub. First of all, that name is too long
Too long.
and makes it difficult for me to understand what. Like it's difficult for me to say it, but yes, it's too long. So maybe you should try and reduce it. But that aside, um, I don't know. It feels like a sort of an unnecessary move, right?
Okay.
And the reason I say it is it's not exactly your place as the minister for
Technology.
technology, all of that,
Yeah.
to be trying to drive investments, like directly trying to drive investments. Mainly, so here's the thing: a, the idea on its own is good when you look at it at face value. Anything that increases investment and facilitates collaboration is perfect. Usually, if the government is backing something like this, it kind of lends more legitimacy, and the participating startups will typically take it more seriously than maybe a private sector body taking the lead on this. So, yes, on the face of it, it's good. So, my question would now be: Are you are we duplicating functions of
Ministries.
other ministries or other arms of the government? We have a Ministry of Trade, trade investments, and I can't remember
Yeah.
the last name, but yeah, we have a ministry dedicated to facilitating trade and investments in Nigeria. What would their job be? Or are you saying they should do like they should facilitate trade investment in every other sector of the
Except.
economy except technology startups, which now I don't know anybody that goes except in specific cases, and then they're like, oh, come, let's focus on just this sector. So I think in some ways a duplication of function. But like I said, it can facilitate that. However, we are, if you ask me, I would say it will not. And the
Right.
reason is that while it's a good idea, we have huge problems that are affecting the way our startups perform. And no exchange program is going to fix that, right? You have a situation where someone's revenues in naira terms has grown, but because he's raising from these investors that you want to cut, he's raising from them in dollars, and now in dollar terms,
His revenue has dropped.
his revenue has dropped significantly, and something that could have taken him 10 years to achieve is now going to take him maybe 12, 15 years to achieve. So how does your exchange program solve
Solve
a
that.
problem like that? Yes, someone will ask me, so do you say he should not do it? Yes, don't do it. Go focus on other things that can move the needle
Mm.
in some way. So alongside the startup house, he talked about the SPV
Yeah.
for digital
95.
infrastructure.
Yes.
Now, that is a more commendable move, if you ask me, because if you improve fiber coverage or broadband coverage in Nigeria, you are directly adding more people to the digital economy. So that makes a lot of sense. But you saying you want to go court Silicon Valley investors who are pulling back because your economy is not very good, I don't know how you want to achieve it, except
Okay.
you have some silver wand, or is it that you're going to wave and then every other thing works?
Okay, so for those that don't know, the special purpose vehicle Chingozrim is talking about is going to build 90,000 kilometers of terrestrial fiber optic cable in Nigeria. So basically, that means um, more internet access for Nigeria. So the minister mentioned that currently we have about 35, I think 35,000 kilometers of fiber optic cables, but this could take it to over 100, right? And then Nigeria now becomes like the third. Yeah, he said will become the third behind, I think, Egypt and one other African country. The third largest in Africa that has like significant internet access on the continent, which is commendable. But going back to the what you said about duplicating functions, I think the minister, based on his background,
Mm-hmm.
right, um, might know more about attracting investments for tech than the Ministry of Trade and Investments, don't you? Maybe they could come together and collaborate.
Yes, he should go and do consulting work for them and ask them to pay him while he's at it.
Mm,
But for real, yes, he may have more experience attracting tech investments. But really, attracting tech investments is not that much difficult from attracting overall investments in
true,
agriculture.
true.
As an investor who is not Nigerian,
Mm,
I'm look if I even if you're Nigerian, as an investor, I'm looking for very, very clear things. Do you have a market? Yes, Nigeria has a market. I don't think anybody debates that anymore.
mm.
But then, can your market buy what your people are producing? Right? If your market cannot buy, so what do you want to do with investments? Do you want to give credit and then uh people do what with the credit? Like, what exactly
I
are
would
you
think
going to do?
it's the problem of attracting investments is, I think, there are larger overall problems that come
Exactly.
back to,
There are
yeah.
see, the thing is, you're operating in a terrible macroeconomic environment,
Mm.
and how does going from, let's say, I think Nigerian startups did about 1.2 or 1.3 billion last year, but how does
In
going,
investments.
sorry, it was way less than that. I think
Mm.
it was around 800,
Okay.
800 to 900,
Wow.
depending on who you're talking to. But how does going from 800 to $800 million to, let's say, $3 billion, how does this solve the problems? This money is going to the private sector. It doesn't solve the purchasing power that we have.
Mm.
Okay,
Doesn't
NBS
solve
released,
security.
yeah, NBS released inflation numbers for just, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago for last month, and I think inflation is up at about 33%. So that means my purchasing power has been depleted further. How does getting extra investment to one fintech
Mm.
solve that fact? And now all of a sudden, yes, I have okay, startup has money, but you're marketing to people who cannot
Wow.
buy.
Yeah.
You would be your marketing guys will be doing their work, and you would think that they're not doing anything, but people don't have money to buy. So yes, it's good to do that. To say you're looking for investment, I can't knock the effort, but it's that effort should be focused on the SPV. If you increase internet access and hopefully along the way, maybe reduce the price, because telcos are also considering raising prices
These are
because
the
it
issues.
is expensive for them to deliver their services.
Yeah.
So if you figure out a way to maybe not, I don't know, I can't say that a telco shouldn't raise their prices,
Mm.
because I'm not the one paying for the services that they need to run their business, right? But if you can in some way get more people on the internet, I would I would take that over you trying to get more investment, really.
Yeah,
And yes,
precisely.
it's going to sound counterintuitive,
Mm.
but yes, please, let's focus on, let the Ministry of Trade and whatever do their job. let him do the one that they sent him to do.
So basically, I think my takeaway from everything Chimozumi has said is it's the same problem attracting general investments. The same problems you face when you try to attract general investments. It's the same problem you face when you're trying to attract tech investments. It's really a no-brainer. I mean, we see companies having revenues depleted because of the state of the naira, their insecurity, security issues,
Inflation,
inflation. A lot of things.
Japa syndrome. There's just
A
a
lot
whole
of
lot
things are
of
not
reasons
working.
why your startups
Yeah.
are not doing well. So,
Well, really hope I personally I really hope something changes very soon. I don't have money for Japa. Yes, so
I have no intention to use it.
I mean, if I had the money, I would, because I mean, it just seems like we keep hearing bad news every day. But yeah, God will help us.
To listen to the full episode of this podcast, visit podcast.techpoint.africa or search for Techpoint Africa Podcast on your favorite podcast platforms.